Ready to roll here on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit Insperity.com for powerful HR solutions with exceptional fall through. 713-780-3776 is the number to get in here, and you can also get your questions in regarding the Masters via Twitter at ESPN 97.5 Houston. Charlie, great to chat here on moving day of the 88th Masters.
Good morning, Will. I hope you're well, and your sister's doing well also. I know you're over in Florida, but the magic of electronics, we can do it from all over the world. So, yes, it's an exciting Saturday. Saturday at Augusta is a unique day. It draws a lot of attention to the top players, but who's going to come from behind? Jackie Burke in 1956 came back from 8 back because of the wind. The wind was just horrendous, just like we've seen the first 36 holes of this playing of the Masters. So, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to try to decipher who's going to be the winner. It's going to be exciting 36 holes at Augusta.
With with some of these players at the top, Charlie, Scotty Scheffler and Bryson DeChambeau. We thought through 2 rounds, maybe we would see a match play weekend heading into, Saturday and Sunday with where they were at through 1 round. Looks like Max Homa has joined the conversation along with Nikolai Hojgaard, 2 Ryder Cuppers right there. But through the first, through this week at the Masters, Charlie, the amateur dinner, the champions dinner, the par 3 contest. I thought the build-up into Augusta was just simply amazing this week.
It gets better every year. The people in the media are doing a great job with the event. They know it's really a part of history now that golf is on its all-time high. So yes, the CBS has always done a wonderful job, but the media around the world are this is being covered by millions of people, seen by millions of people, covered by a lot of great golfers, and yes, it's a big deal. And I think back to my time with Angel and the time that you spend on property. It's a unique atmosphere because there's 30,000 people plus or minus whatever you want, and they're all in to the game. It's all about the game, playing the game properly. The patrons at Augusta are really respectful of the game and of the players. So grab onto your seat and let's go.
Charlie, the weather through 2 rounds, it's made a huge impact. Whether it's been rain or 35-mile-per-hour winds. I heard Zach Johnson talk a little bit yesterday afternoon about how the weather at the first 2 days of this Masters was actually worse than the Masters that he won, which was back in 2007 when 1/1. What have you thought about the way this course has been impacted by the weather over the first 2 rounds?
Well, the players are impacted by the wind because it comes from different directions all the time. It swirls. This property is a unique property in that the clubhouse is way up high, and then the bottom part of the golf course, you have these tall pine trees where the wind can get caught up and just swirl around, and that's why the 12th hole is so complicated to try to decide what and where to hit your golf ball and how hard. So I think it's great, but it's not new. Spring in the United States, all over the Southwest, we've had tornadoes through Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia, and luckily, Augusta has not been hit by a tornado, but it's got that 30-mile-an-hour wind on it, and that's hard to play in, and that's why Jackie Burke was able to come back to win his green jacket from 8 back. So I'm anxious to see this play.
Yeah, it's very nice how the PGA Tour goes to Texas in the weeks leading up to the Masters, Houston, and then from a more wind and inclement weather standpoint, I think San Antonio is always a great test. They're at the Oaks course. Charlie, it was blowing 38 miles per hour there last Saturday and through the weekend. That's got to be a good in a sense of preparation.
Yes, it really the wind will drive you crazy. So we've got to pick
But
out a winner, but first I think
yeah,
we got to pick out the low score. What score do you think it's going to take to win for the next, finish on Sunday? What's your number
yeah,
you're picking?
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna say 10 under, Charlie. I think 2 under the next 2 days. Whoever gets to 10 under, I think that's going to be the winning number. What about you? Do you think it's going to be lower?
Well, no. If you look at the leaders, they're 6 under. If they shoot 6 under over the weekend, and I think somebody can, that's 12 under. 12 under has won many Masters. I like your pick at 10 too. So between 10 and 12 is. But if the wind goes down in spring, Mother Nature will do that to us. That it's going to change. But I think 12 under will be the winning score, and my dark horse for the weekend is Cameron Smith from Australia.
Cameron Smith from Australia at 1 under, 5 back. 2022 Open champion at St. Andrews. Coming from Australia, the Sand Belt, this is a guy who, can really play through the conditions, no problem. He played an April Fool's joke on us a couple weeks ago. He said he was shaving the mullet. He's got that mullet, Charlie. He said he was going to shave it off heading into the Masters, and then he showed up and it was still there. So I like that. I like that. I like Ludwig Oberg, Charlie, at 2 under. As kind of a horse, 4 back of the lead. He's as we've talked about, only been a professional for a year. This is a guy who's working with Peter Hansen on his short game. He's trying to get better in all aspects. 25-1 heading into the weekend. And Charlie, I believe the last Masters rookie to win. It wasn't their first time playing, but the last Masters rookie to win. Was that Fuzzy Zeller in '79?
I believe so. Yes, my good friend Fuzzy. We all knew when we played mini tour golf together that Fuzzy was going to be a
major
great
winner.
Player. He won the U.S. Open, he won the Players Championship, and then he won the Masters. And because he had lucky go lucky, and he didn't take golf too seriously. And I think that's what's happening to some of our stars. Jack Nicklaus always had a great saying. He says, "Don't make golf more important than it really is." And kids like Justin Thomas and our good friend Jordan Spieth, the money's gotten out of control, and they're trying too hard. Just go play golf and see what happens, and don't over try.
No, you've got a point there, Charlie. I think we heard a lot in the press conferences and a lot in the from quotes from different players as far as their concerns with the game. But at the end of the day, all the fans care about is what's going on the golf course, and to get a great finish like we got last week in San Antonio with Denny McCarthy shooting 63 on Sunday and giving Akshay Bhatia a heart attack there at TPC San Antonio. What a fantastic Sunday that was. That went to a playoff, and those are the kind of tournaments that ultimately make the PGA Tour what it is, Charlie. Akshay started last week, 22 years old, a regular PGA Tour card, but not in the majors. And he leaves Sunday completely changing his travel plans and heading to Augusta. I wanted to ask you one question pertaining Bhatia's win. He played in the drive, chip, and putt back in 2014. You've seen the way the drive, chip, and putt has built what it's done for junior golf. Is this a tournament that's, kind of starting to develop the next generation? And how do you think it's done for the world of golf and preparing the next generation?
Well, they set the tone. Masters is the first major. It has done so much over the years to to dignify a sport that, coming out of the depression, it was just for rich people, and now they're bringing the game to everyone and making them aware. And just like my good friend Angel Cabrera, a poor kid from the barrios of Cordova, Argentina, and he was able to learn the game as a caddy, and now everybody is getting involved with golf, and thanks to the promotion of the game, i.e., the amateur for the ladies, the chip and pitch and putt and drive.
Yep.
That's it's just a wonderful promotion to get the game out in front of the masses.
Yeah, no doubt, and I'm sure the Augusta National Women's Amateur. I think that it's a great as far as splitting up the golf courses. A couple rounds at Champions Retreat, a couple rounds at Augusta National. I'm sure we'll see a women's major at some point in the next 10 years come to Augusta National. But
No way.
you don't think so?
No.
They'll just do an amateur tournament and have a have a men's
They can
pro.
only do too much, and I would be very surprised if that happened.
Okay. 88th Masters tournament. Charlie, as far as what we've heard from some of the players, I thought our friend Santiago de la Fuente told the media a very interesting quote. He said he played a practice round with Jose Maria Orizabal, former Masters champion, and Jose Maria told Santi to keep the ball low when chipping around the greens. Why is that?
Well, it's the ball is designed to roll, and it's hard to control spin. And if you get a gust of wind and you got the ball too high, it'll move it 2 or 3 inches, and that makes a whole big difference on those greens that are so fast and undulating. And so I've always loved the Scottish game was always rolling the ball, not flying the ball, rolling the ball. And he won two Masters because of his chipping and pitching ability, and he could get it up and down from all over. And that'll everybody would learn from that. I try to teach my students to hit the ball low when you're chipping and pitching.
That's the golf doctor, six-time major participant and coach of 2009 Masters champion Angel Cabrera. We're going to take a break. Max Homa and Bryson DeChambeau and Scotty Scheffler tee off, right around 2:35 Eastern time. They're in a three-way tie at 6 under. Nicola Hojgaard is in solo fourth. He is he's a 22-year-old third-year pro. Another one of these European players who went college and went straight to the pros. He's from Denmark, and I think he's going to have a very good weekend as well. Cameron Davis, the Aussie, and two-time major winner Colin Morikawa in a tie for fifth at 3 under, and the player that should have been last year's Rookie of the Year on the PGA Tour, Ludwig Oberg, is in seventh at 2 under par. We'll be right back here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
Hey, Charlie, a big story rolling into this week. I think it's something that a lot of fans were keeping tabs on. World number one, Scottie Scheffler, he is staying in the same house as Sam Burns this week. Now, Sam Burns missed the cut. He packed his bags last night, and he's got a pregnant wife at home too. So maybe it's the best thing. Sam Burns' wife is due a little bit sooner than Scheffler's. But what was your opinion on how that would affect Scottie Scheffler, the golfer, this week?
Well, it's as a father, the one of the great joys is when your first child comes into into the world, and it's just so happens that his wife is really close to, as they say, dominoing, giving birth, and
Yep.
he wants to be there, and I can remember back when Payne Stewart beat Phil Mickelson.
99 U.S. Open there at Pinehurst.
And Phil had one of those weekends where it was give and take, and the baby came on Monday. So that's a big decision, and I'm sure as a family man that we've proven to learn about Scottie Scheffler. He's got his jet warmed up to. If they're coming, if she goes into labor, he might just say, "Guys, I'll see you next year," and it's so important because just like Jack Nicklaus said, don't make golf more important than it really is. It's a game, it's recreation. We're having fun, but there's certain things that in life that are so much more important than winning a golf tournament. And Scottie is going to, I think, make a decision to if he can make it, he's going to go home and see the birth of his child. I mean, both of my daughters, their birth was just such a big time of my life, and we had dinner last night. My wife and my two daughters and my granddaughter, and that's what life's all about. It's your family, and we'll see how it turns out this weekend.
Yeah, and Scheffler's in a three-way tie for the lead at 6 under par. Conditions held the scoring back a bit yesterday. Charlie, how is Augusta National when the amount of rain comes in that does on a Thursday morning? How are they able to dry the course and to get the course playing the way they wanted to?
Well, number one, the wind is really helping the conditions as far as drying the golf course, but they have underground mechanisms that can suck the water out of the grass, and they have worked on their drainage plan, and it's just incredible how the water can get out of the fairway and go into the subsurface drainage. And that course, as we know, is so hilly up and down. They have gravity to their advantage too, and it all flows out in a timely manner. And there's no puddles out on the golf course anymore. There's no mud spots. That golf course is so pristine and so well taken care of. That's not a problem.
Charlie, you've played this golf course how many times?
Quite a few times.
Now, what as far as a favorite memory, something you'll never forget? I mean, what is it? The conditions? What is it that if there's one thing that you'll never forget about this place, what would it be?
Well, driving down Magnolia Lane and knowing the history of the event and having dinner inside the clubhouse with some marvelous people who are our hosts right under Mr. Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, and then going up and getting on the first tee and just looking at this piece of property that is just so magnificent, and to have watched it many times and stand up on the third hole and see the green, and you wonder how people play it, and it's such a challenging golf course. So all of the above. Once you've I've had the pleasure of having a student win the Masters. That's really an incredible feeling professionally that you've helped somebody do what they're trying to do and beat the best golfers in the world. But the magnificence of that property and all what the Masters stands for is second to none.
And yeah, you hit the nail on the head as far as the challenge is concerned. One more question regarding that, Charlie. Did you enjoy your times playing the golf course more, or did it bring you more happiness to see Angel win as a student?
Well, it's two different types of happiness. When he won, I was happy for him, and I had a joy in my heart that professionally I was there. I was with the big boys. But the best time I ever had was with my good friend Dick Harmon. We played 9 holes on the par 3 course, and then we played 54 holes in the same day. And we had more fun. And that particular day, our host, John Butler, wasn't able to get there on time, so they let us play with his brother, Bill. And we just had so much fun. And to experience that is one of the top things for me personally as an individual, and being a golf professional and a golf, nut. That's the ultimate.
Charlie, I'm wearing the Dick Harmon Foundation hat right now as we speak. Tough to go this week without thinking about him, huh?
Oh, right. I mean, he introduced me to a lot of things he was a pro at River Oaks and I was a pro at Houston Country Club when we became close friends, and he taught me so much. I mean, he came from the Harmon family, and that his father Claude was just such a character and a great golfer and a Masters champion and pros for the Kings and Queens. I mean, he did it all. So I got to say, he motivated me to become a better professional. And then his brothers, Butch and Craig and Billy, the four horsemen, if you will, they all followed in their father's footsteps and stayed in golf and promoted the game. And so it's been a great run with old Mr. Dick Harmon. But I think about what Dick would say every day.
Yeah, Butch still coaching on the PGA Tour. Back him and Rory working a little bit together now, but still oversees a lot of players on the PGA Tour. Ricky Fowler, and then Charlie. I see Billy all the time on Golf Channel. Does a lot of the Golf Pass stuff and a lot of the teaching segments. So obviously still thriving. This question, Charlie, comes from Todd in New York. Charlie, only 13 players under par right now going into the third round. I've been watching a lot of the golf the last 2 days, and the players appear like they're struggling with the swirling winds, which Todd says he's getting a bit of at home. How can the AM at home manage swirling winds, Charlie?
Go bowling that day.
Yeah.
No, you just take it for what it is. And
How about just hit it solid like Watson said, Charlie?
That's exactly right. Hit it solid and go find it and pick out wider landing zones. Give yourself an opportunity to keep the ball in play. I mean, just think what happened to poor John Rahm, defending champion. It took him 6 hours and 5 minutes to finish his round of golf. And that is mainly because of the conditions of the golf course with the wind and everybody having to wait and so on and so forth. So that'll wind like that. Those days are almost impossible to play. We've had a couple scores under par, but wind is, if you get a lot of winds, swing easy into the wind. Swing easy. You don't have to try to hit it hard because the ball will spin too much. Swing easy.
Swing easy. It'll keep that traj nice and low, Charlie.
Yes. Get the trajectory down. And, once again, in Scotland, they played in, overcoats and the wind and the rain, and they played the ball along the ground. Keep it on the ground. You can't
We'll take one more.
Go right ahead.
Take one more question before break, Charlie. This one comes from Lou in Mont Bellevue. Charlie, Xander Schauffele talked about the greens being very firm at Augusta this week and how it's tough to hold a green. In specific, Xander said, that he was hitting 5 irons into the greens in the practice rounds, and they were tomahawking over the greens. Lou's question is, what's the easiest way to hit a high golf shot that lands soft? Easiest way, Charlie. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that.
Ball position is so important in the trajectory of the golf ball, and to be able to put the ball a little more up in front of your left heel by your left toe when you're hitting it on off of a tee. But that's it's characteristic, and now with these golf balls, and the other thing that I heard this morning was that DeChambeau is playing with a new set of irons that were just approved on Monday by the USGA, where the irons have a little bulge and roll like drivers in
Wow.
Woods games. So that's going to be a story within the story this coming weekend. But for the man's question is you got to practice in it. So when you get days that are really blowing, go out on the driving range and practice your different shots, high, low, and play the ball back and get a 3/4 5-iron and hit it 135 yards. That way you don't spin the ball too much to where it just balloons up. You can penetrate with a softer swing speed and let the ball run out, and the ball will run pretty consistently on the ground. And you can take it, like we had at the Houston Open and at Augusta. The conditions are so good with the overplanted rye that the ball will run and not bounce.
That's great feedback on how to hit a more piercing, penetrating ball flight for Lou there. On the other side, we're going to talk about Tiger Woods making his 24th straight cut. That's someone who can hit a great stinger, huh, Charlie?
Yes.
Just a wonderful low ball flight, one of many golf tournaments. But on the other side, we'll get to Tiger. We'll get to I want to compare the front nine and back nine of this golf course. I think there's some really interesting things there, Charlie. And then we'll talk about some of the defending champion John Rahm's comments heading into the week, and we'll give some picks later on. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Back after this.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour here on ESPN 97.5 Houston, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. And Charlie, before we keep rolling on, getting to Tiger Woods making his 24th straight Masters cut, and got to talk about some of John Rahm's comments, and Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, and Max Homa atop the leaderboard. Couldn't get much better. But before we do that, we have to give credit to the company that makes the show go round.
Insperity, what a company. Oh, my gosh. Its history is just second to none. Started in 1986 and has just gone through great successes because of its philosophy. And it's a philosophy that really, they want communities to prosper. So they want businesses to succeed. And businesses need some help, some professional help. They have perfected the art of knowing what to do for HR companies. But the best HR policy is treat your employees fairly and courteously, and give them opportunity to show their worth. And that's what Insperity does. Their team of professionals all over the country go and visit new people every day to give them their expertise. So Insperity is a company you can rely on. Insperity is a company that has a rich tradition in success, and it's all about people, being nice to people, to its employees, and especially to its customers. So give Insperity a call. HR, they will make sure that you do the right thing. And I can't tell you how nice these people are. So go ahead and give them a call. Log on to Insperity.com and find out more about this company that will help your company succeed.
Charlie, Insperity's Champions Tour golf tournament coming up here April 29th through May 5th. Fans, listeners, you can get your free tickets. Once again, free tickets at www.insperityinvitational.com, and this is free tickets to go watch the best players of all time: Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, Tom Watson, among many others. And those free tickets are all thanks to Insperity, United Healthcare, Hewlett Packard. But Charlie, for some of the listeners, Jose Maria Orizabal made the cut. Not sure he makes the field for the Invitational every year, but nonetheless, a lot of the players, a lot of the legends that fans were able to watch Thursday and Friday this week at the Masters, they will also be at the Invitational. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a great celebration of golf at the Woodlands. A great place to watch a golf tournament. Great accommodations for spectators. So it's a great week, and everybody should come. On Saturday afternoon, the greats of golf get out there and team up. You got Nancy Lopez and Annika Sorenstam, and you got playing with Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player, and now Tom Watson's coming to town, and Fuzzy Zeller. Just all the greats of the game come to
John
Houston.
Daly.
And everybody get out there and support it.
That through the last 2 weeks, Charlie, they've been having long drive competitions at East River 9 and various sites around Texas. And basically fans are qualifying to play in a long drive contest against John Daly. So really incredible things that they do just as far as the events surrounding the golf that week, and then, of course, what's happening on the golf course is special. And here in about 3 years, Charlie, a guy named Tiger Woods will be exempt to play in the Champions Tour. We could see him in the Woodlands every year. But for now, he made his 24th straight cut at Augusta, passing Fred Couples and Gary Player for the most consecutive cuts made at Augusta of all time. Charlie, I think further cements, that as far as, the greatest golfer ever, maybe not the greatest champion in golf, but the greatest golfer ever, Tiger certainly continuing that conversation this week.
Oh, yeah. But Tiger's answer was really classic. What do you think about making a cut? He says it gives me a chance to win a tournament. He's not thinking about making a cut. He wants to win the tournament. it's just another, you know, arrow in his quiver, you might say. But all the records he set are so much more important than making a cut. But he prided himself. He made over like 500 cuts on the PGA Tour in a row, some ridiculous amount. So, yeah, talking about the Insperity Invitational in Houston, we want to invite everybody to come down here, get on a plane, come into town, eat a little barbecue, and watch some great golf.
No doubt. It's going to be a great field there at the Woodlands Country Club. Once again, April 29th through May 5th. Log on to InsperityInvitational.com to get your free tickets for one of the 3 rounds. Charlie, Tiger says, he's playing, he's playing smart this week to the middle of the greens. That's the recipe for success around here. That's the recipe for not making big numbers. As far as playing to the center of greens, is that something that you're telling students to do from all yardages, or is it just inside 150? How do you approach that?
Well, when you're hitting into a green, you got to know the yardage to the front of the green, to the middle of the green, and to the back of the green. And middle is always a good place to aim. Don't let the superintendent put these pins in areas that's going to make you go into the bunker or go, have an extra hard shot. If you're looking at scoring, go for the middle. Just look at that big target that you see when you go shoot your rifle. You have your bullseye. The best shot is in the middle of the bullseye. The best shot is in the middle of the green, and then you can go left, right, or up or down. It's so important. But the second most important is the back of the green distance. Most greens are 30 yards in circumference, so that means that from the front of the green to the middle of the green is 15 yards. Okay, so now if from the middle of the green to the back of the green is 15 more yards, so if you're standing on the 150-yard marker, add 15 and try to hit it to the back of the green, because most of your shots that cause you more trouble are short, not long. Hit them to the back of the green.
Charlie, when I was talking to a caddy at the Houston Open, him and his student play occasionally, have times where the caddy is adding 5 to 8 yards on every shot, and that's a pro. But if he's getting the sense that he's coming up short again and again, and he's not getting a good feeling, the player's not getting a good feeling on distance, the caddy will add about 5 to 8 yards to every number that he's telling him, which I did not even think about. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, no, that's good. Billy Harmon has some great stories about him being on 15, and he knew the yardage was like 230 to the middle of the green, so he told Jay it was 225 because he wanted to make sure he went for it, and then Jay knew what was going on. But yeah, you can trick your mind sometimes and make a fake yardage that will produce a good shot.
Charlie, as far as the golf course is concerned there at Augusta National, once again, you've played many times, competed in many major championships. They moved the tee back on 2 about 10 yards, the par 5 there. Do you see any difference with that hole? Do you see any difference with maybe anything on the golf course this year compared to prior years?
No, not really. I think that they finally got the 13th tee back far enough to where it makes a difference, and the nuances of certain greens that they flatten out in certain parts of to make it a little more fair. But it's all in their philosophy is to prepare a golf course that will challenge the best players in the world. But at the same time, if the members play it from their tees, they can play it. So it's a job well done. I just admire what they do. And what people don't realize at Augusta is Augusta will close at the end of May. The golf course will close for the summer. And then all that rye, pretty grass we see dies out. And so they replant it in August. and then they open it up in October. So there's a lot of different things they do to be able to grow that grass, and they don't play the golf course 365 days a year. It has a 3-month off period in the summer, so that they can do their nuances for the next year's Master.
It's amazing when they take drone shots during the off season. You know, all the grass is taken out of the golf course and everything's getting resodded. Really incredible there. When you've gone about this golf course, you know, the front nine and the back nine both have their challenges. Charlie, 5 and 6 on the front, Magnolia and Jupiter. You know, extremely tough holes. 5 to par 4, 6 to par 3, but then you know, the back has its challenges too. 10 and 11, you know, the 1 and 2 toughest holes on the golf course. Then you have Amen Corner and you know, 16, 17, and 18 are no walk in the park. What's the side that players really have to get after on this golf course?
Well, you got to realize the most nervous you're going to be is when you hit the first tee shot at Augusta.
T Olive.
So now that hole has been expanded. It's a lot longer. You're hitting uphill. So that's one of the hardest holes on the golf course. And if you get away with a bogey, you're ahead of the game. But the nerve, and then you're going to go down to number 2, and you're still nervous because you see a bunker it looks like it's in the middle of the fairway. It's in the right corner of the fairway. So the architect will put visual hazards out there, and they'll fool you. And so it's a golf course that you got to play many times to play it the correct way, like Nicklaus.
Yeah, just like that. It does. It's a visual effect, just like, you know, you talked about 1, you talked about 2. You know, Alistair McKenzie put 4 bunkers in the middle of that short par 4 3. Same kind of situation, just a visual nightmare. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get some quotes in from Rom. We'll get a question in, and we'll make our picks for the weekend here for the 88th Masters. This is Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Back after this.
This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
Now from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
All right, welcome back. Final segment here, the Charlie Epps Golf Hours Masters Edition, presented by Insperity HR that makes a difference. Max Homa and Bryson DeChambeau will go off at 2:45 Eastern. Final group there off one, right after Scotty Scheffler and Nikola Hojgaard. Scheffler, Hojgaard, and Homa were all featured in the last Ryder Cup there in Rome. Charlie, Max Homa and Bryson DeChambeau, two great players, but two individuals that have not been there in this situation at Augusta. Neither one of their course histories going into the Masters this week was very good. Bryson's best finish came back when he was an amateur. What are your thoughts on these leaders?
Well, they're leading because they're playing well right now, and they're leading because they've worked hard to get there, and they've had some good breaks. So I think Bryson can handle it. I really do.
Charlie, what are your thoughts on Bryson? This is a guy who said, that the par at Augusta was 67 a couple years ago. He got a lot of scrutiny for that. It seems like he's matured a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we all say dumb things certain parts of our lives, and there's a lot of things we say that we have, wish we could take back, and I'm sure he did there. I mean, at times, it can play very easily if the weather's correct. The golf course is going to play easy, and all the par fours are going to play like par fives. But now with the new, changes in the golf course is completely different when he made that comment.
100%. He'll start the day in a three-way tie for the lead with Max Homa and Scotty Scheffler. Charlie, at 32 years old, this is a guy with 7 PGA Tour wins, but still not a major to the resume. He made improvements in his major success last year. We're talking about Max Homa. As far as a player in their early 30s to get it done for the first time in a major championship, how hard is it to get through that mental hoop?
Well, I tell you, one guy that's impressed the heck out of me is Vijay Singh. He's almost 60 years old, and he made the cut, and he's +4, and he could end up having a pretty good finish like Nicklaus did when he was 57.
Wow!
So if
he'll be at the Invitational, won't he?
Yeah, that's exactly right. He will be there. He'll be the honorary caddy. He doesn't play much anymore, but he likes to get out and be with the people and be with his fellow golf professionals. Jack Nicklaus loves the Insperity company, but he also loves that Invitational, and he'll come and have a lot of fun. But to go
we were talking about, but Vijay as well, Charlie. I remember him being there the last 2 years. I got to see if he's a commit on the tournament.
Yeah, exactly right. He'll be there. But Max Homa, I think, is the guy to beat.
Oh, beautiful. No, you don't think anyone? Well, I think. Charlie, I think the question is, take Max Homa versus a guy like Scotty Scheffler, who Scotty's in his mid-20s. He's finished a Masters. He's finished off of Players before. Max Homa doesn't have those memories to fall back on.
Well, but he's got to make them sometime. And if he's going to be a player of the future, and he's been trending in that way for the last 5 years, when he won his first tournament in L.A. at Riviera, and Tiger was there, his idol, and he played, with Tiger a lot now. So he's learned a lot. So we'll see. But the other guys, Cameron Davis from Australia, he's a guy that I like. But you got to give DeChambeau his time. I mean, he could make Live more legit if he wins the Masters. So it's all up for grabs. John Rahm, it's a shame. Defending champion, but defending champion, you have so many more distractions, and you've already won the Masters, and you can just sit back and enjoy your glory time.
5 over par, tied 44.
Yep.
Charlie, he made a lot of comments this week. You're exactly right. As defending champion, he made some comments. Maybe talked about some things off the golf course that are happening between, of course, PGA Tour and Live. Probably had to answer a few more of those questions than he would have liked. And a lot of what seemed, Charlie, to be regret about his decision. I think he thought that the two were going to have to come together once he left. I think he saw himself as a force in the game, which he is, but maybe not enough. What were your thoughts on Rob's comments heading into the week?
Well, I think everybody's searching for an answer. I mean, starting with Tom Watson, he made a couple comments during the dinner, the famous dinner they have on Tuesday nights, and it put a little damper on the celebration that dinner is supposed to be about.
He said something during the dinner, Charlie?
Yes.
Wow.
And after the dinner, when they started having the questions and answers, and the evening didn't last as long as it should have.
Wow.
So
little inside info there.
Yeah, inside. So, but everybody wants to come together and figure this out. And they did it in the NFL. They'll do it in the PGA. They'll work this out. The PGA and Live have got to join forces and for the good of the game, for the good of the sport.
Yeah, and Charlie, Greg Norman attended the Masters as a fan this week. Just bought himself a couple tickets. So he was following Rory and some of the other players, and of course he's doing his job as the boss of Live and making sure he gets out there and supports players like John Rahm and Joaquin Niemann. Of course, I think we all know that's a tour that has plenty of talent. But I think Rahm, from the words he was saying this week, he's well aware of the reasons why they are not awarded official world golf ranking points. He said that they need to change. He said Live needs to change to 72 holes in order to become legit, and that's a big quote, Charlie.
Yep.
That's a big quote when it comes to the contracts that Live has with players. Now they're if this is something that happens, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and restructure the contract. So not to get away from the Masters, but a lot of great insights from Rahm this week, and we'll see where the game goes. I think the tour, is still in great shape. The game is in a great place, Charlie, with more golfers on the golf course than ever. 3.4 million new golfers this year in the United States.
Yeah, that's a big number, and worldwide it's even bigger. And we saw at the Houston Open, sponsored by the Children's Hospital, that the people love to come out and walk and see these players play the game of golf. These people like to socialize at a golf tournament. It's a good time, and people will support the game if they get their together. And you know the word I'm thinking about, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Charlie, as far as the weekend at Augusta and the way that you'll be digesting it, you're going to have the CBS coverage on, watching your guy Nance?
Oh, sure. Jim, bless his heart, has 39 years of being the host of that great event, and he's done such a great job. And I can remember he and Fred Couples and Blaine McAllister would sit in the dorm, and Jim would pretend to be the announcer and interview Freddie Couples and Blaine, and these kids, their dreams come true. Freddie won the Masters. Jim, has been there 39 years, and Blaine McAllister got to play in the Masters quite a few times and won on the PGA Tour. So they filled all their dreams.
Well, Freddie, Charlie, he didn't make the cut this week, but Freddie's someone who's very motivated. He said he was kind of dealing with some back stuff this year, but he's motivated to get it healthy. He's telling Fred Ridley that he's going to be back for next year's Masters competing in it, and he's going to try to be more healthy. So always fun to see Tiger out there playing with Spieth and Freddie. Always fun to see Freddie out there playing with Spieth and Tiger. Homa seems like he just has a great relationship with all the players out there.
Yes, exactly right. And now we're getting close to the end of the show.
Yeah.
We're
Who's your pick, Charlie?
pick our picks. And, my pick is 12 under par is going to win the tournament. And I think you've got to give the top three who are tied, one of them, they have the odds-on favorite to win. But, I like Cameron Smith to shoot 63 one day if the conditions are right, the Australian. And Patrick Reed is there.
How about Patrick Reed, Charlie?
Even
par, only 6 back heading into the weekend.
So it's interesting. It's a great celebration of the game we love and cherish, and puts us all in a good mood, especially when you're watching and not playing.
Yeah. Amazing that Tiger's only 7 back, Charlie. That's an interesting pick.
Who you picking?
Well, there's some guys here. Do you think two over right now is out of this golf tournament, Charlie?
Well, do you think they can shoot, 12 under? On the weekend.
For 2 days. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. You know what? I'm going to go stock the guy who was plus 450 to start the week. I'm going with Scotty Scheffler to win his second green jacket. I know there's putting concerns. I know Meredith, his wife, is pregnant, and God bless her, and hopefully they have a healthy, as well as Sam Burns, a healthy pregnancy, and everything goes well. But I'm taking Scotty to get the job done this week. DeChambeau and Homa have no prior success at the Masters. Scheffler does. I'm going to take him rolling into the weekend, Charlie.
Well, we're going to have a fun time watching it.
Yes, sir. Hey, great show today, Charlie. Thanks for everyone, all the listeners. Thank you to Insperity, an HR company that makes a difference. Go to Insperity.com and hire them for your business's HR needs. And we'll see you next week. We'll be in the middle of the RBC Heritage there at Hilton Head. Charlie, great show. Happy Masters weekend.
Okay, have a good trip coming home, and my best for your sister.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon.